Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And yesterday I talked about a meditation that I read out of the language of letting go, and I said in there that I wanted to do another one today. I think partly because I want to get back into the pattern of reading these again, and I haven't been doing that as much as I used to. I do a lot of meditation and prayer every morning right when I get up because I like to start my day that way. But I haven't been using the books as much as I used to. I'll use them a couple days a week, but not every day. And so I was going through here, and I was actually going to read this one called Facing Our Darker Side, but right next to it was one from April 3rd called Acceptance. And so I thought, you know what, I talk a lot about surrendering and acceptance on here, and so I thought that's a really good one to talk about. So I'm going to read it. I'm sure I've read it sometime in my life because I've had, this is a newer book. The older book like fell apart. So I've had one of these for 10 or more years. So I'm sure I've read this meditation before, but I haven't read it recently. I don't know what it says. And I thought it would be interesting to show you guys like when I read them and I just respond to them. So I kind of don't really know what's going to happen after I read this. I might be like, or I might be like, okay, this is what I think. So I want to read it to you. Or I might be like, this doesn't resonate with me at all. I don't relate to it at all. Do you? So I want to read it and then kind of just give you guys my response. And we'll see how it goes, okay? Acceptance. Surrender to the moment. Write it out and through for all it's worth. Throw yourself into it. Stop resisting. So much of our anguish is created when we are in resistance. So much relief, release, and change are possible when we accept. Simply accept. We waste our time, expend our energy, and make things harder by resisting, repressing, and denying. Repressing our thoughts will not make them disappear. Repressing a thought already formed will not make us a better person. Think it. Let it come into reality, then release it. A thought is not forever. If we don't like it, we can think another one or change it. But to do that, we must accept and release the first thought. Resistance and repression will not change a thing. They will put us at war with our thoughts. We make life harder by resisting and repressing our feelings. No matter how dark, how uncomfortable, how unjustified, how surprising, how inappropriate we might deem our feelings, resisting and repressing them will not free us from them. Doing that will make them worse. They will swirl inside us, torment us, make us sick, make our body ache, compel us to do compulsive things, keep us awake, or put us to sleep. In the final analysis, all that we're really called on to do is accept our feelings by feeling them and saying, yes, this is what I feel. Feelings are for the present moment. The more quickly we can accept a feeling, the more quickly we will move on to the next. Resisting or repressing thoughts and feelings does not change us or turn us into the person we want to be or think we should be. It puts us in a resistance to reality. It makes us repressed. Eventually, it makes us depressed. Resisting events or circumstances in our life does not change things no matter how undesirable the events or circumstances may be. Acceptance turns us into the person we are and want to be. Acceptance empowers the events and circumstances to turn around for the better. What do we do if we're in resistance, in a tug of war with some reality in our life? Accepting our resistance can help us get through that too. Acceptance does not mean we're giving our approval. It does not mean surrendering to the will and plans of another. It does not mean commitment. It is not forever. It is for the present moment. Acceptance does not make things harder, it makes things easier. Acceptance does not mean we accept abuse or mistreatment. It does not mean we forgo ourselves, our boundaries, hopes, dreams, desires, or wants. It means we accept what is, so we know what to do to take care of ourselves and what boundaries we need to set. It means we accept what is and who we are at the moment, so we are free to change and grow. Acceptance and surrender move us forward on this journey. Force does not work. Acceptance and surrender, two concepts that hurt the most before we do them. Today, I will practice accepting myself and my present circumstances. I will begin to watch and trust the magic that acceptance can bring into my life and recovery. Okay, I love this meditation. That's my immediate thought to it, And it's interesting because whenever I discuss acceptance with people, my thought is always, what's the alternative? Like, if something happens in our life and people are like, I'm having a hard time accepting this, or I just can't accept that to be true, or I just can't accept this. It's like my thought is always, well, what's the alternative? What's the opposite of that, right? right? So if it's not acceptance, it's resistance, which I had never really thought of that word before in terms of this. But you know, when you think about acceptance as like allowing and resistance as pushing, you know, I think it's really about how a lot of us live in life. And if we live like this, then we're going to live with tension and anger and resentment in our lives. But a lot of times acceptance of how things are, you know, means not that we're okay with them, not that they're facts. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are conditional, dependent upon how we're feeling at a certain moment, what we're going through, something. There are emotions attached to outcomes. They're not facts. And, you know, acceptance is looking at things that have happened to us in our lives and saying they just are what they are. They happened when they happened how they happened. I don't necessarily like it. It's not okay. But for right now, it is what it is. You know, and it was sitting in there. It talked in there about, this is the part I really liked. Acceptance does not mean we're giving our approval. It does not mean surrendering to the will and plans of another. It does not mean commitment. It does not mean forever. It is for the present moment. Acceptance does not make things harder. It makes things easier. Acceptance does not mean we accept abuse or mistreatment. It does not mean we forgo ourselves, our boundaries, hopes, dreams, desires, or wants. It means we accept what is so we know what to do to take care of ourselves and what boundaries we need to set. It means we accept what is and who we are at the moment so we are free to change and grow. And you know, I think that's what it is acceptance is so powerful to look at it that way, and that it's freedom. Absolutely, you know, in that saying, this is a condition of my life right now. I don't necessarily like it, but it is what it is. Now I have some options. I have some choices. I can change some things or I can stay stuck. I can do whatever I want to do. But this is the condition of my life right now. And how many of us, and myself many times in life, okay, I've looked at a situation and said, well, I just can't move on. I just can't accept this. This can't be happening to me. I can't believe this is real. You know, I can't believe this happened to me. And that might be the statement I think that is even more dangerous is, I can't believe this happened to me. And a lot of us, I think, get very stuck in not being able to accept things that have happened to us in our past. But if truly acceptance is the way to freedom, if acceptance is the way to change and letting go of resentment and anger in our lives, then why wouldn't we want to do that? I mean, I want to live a happy life. I want freedom from pain from the past, don't you? So if that means having to look at my life exactly as it is, good, bad, and different, and say, here's what it is, here's your life, and then saying, okay, now what am I going to do about it? Then I'm willing to do that. And now I think that maybe I have a better understanding of what acceptance is too, and I hope this has been helpful to you. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.